Are you not very powerful? Or are you weak? Or you don't have much muscle? Don't worry, I'm in the same boat. But today we're going to go through how to build strength, power and muscle by using just your body weight. And all you're going to need is a bar. Let me show you how. Before every good session starts, you need to have a warm up. So we're just going to do a wee brief warm up here. It'll take about 30 seconds. No more than about 5 to 10 minutes when you're doing it in real time. So I'm just going to show you a couple of exercises here quick. And then we'll get stuck into the good stuff. So starting off, you're going to go with toe touches. It's going to stretch out your back, get your hips moving, and get the hamstrings going as well. You can either go for time, or you can do reps. We'll just go for 10 reps here today. Once you've done that, we're going to get the upper body warmed up. So all we're going to do is arm circles backwards and then forwards, so you can either do it for time or do reps. I'll just do 10 reps each way. So really let your arms swing here. Just get the blood flowing. When you're warming up, don't be doing any dynamic stretching. Just make sure anything you're doing is with movement. All you're wanting to do is get blood flowing to the muscles and around the joints as well. I didn't really count there, but it doesn't really matter. That's us now. Okay, and the last one for the warm up then, we're just going to do some half squats because some of you might not be able to squat, but that's okay. So all we're going to do is bend a wee bit, get the knees and the hips moving. As I say, go for time or go for reps. It's completely up to you. So to start off with power, you always want to start your session with power because you're at your most fresh, and power requires 100% intensity. So we're going to start off here. Now, you probably won't be able to do this to a degree, but I'm going to show you different variations. I'm going to just start off from my pulling muscles. In calisthenics, the hardest movements are going to be the pull ones. Then it's going to be the push, and then the legs will actually be the easiest. Whereas if you were lifting weights, it'd be the other way around. So we're going to start off here with just some high pulls. Kind of a bit like a muscle up, but you're not going to transition over the bar. And then I'll go into the pushing one. I'm going to also show you an easier pulling variation too. If you have access to a bar, which you should anyway, that's the only thing you need for calisthenics. Start off, explosive pull. If you can't do pull-ups, that's completely fine. That's what we're here for. We're here to learn and progressing it better. So find yourself a bar or a table or 2 chairs or anything. I'll put wee videos of that in here. And all you're going to do is just get underneath. Use your legs for a bit of assistance. We're here to generate power. Boom, 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 boom. Where the fuck am I? What the fuck? Okay, for pushing power, we're just going to do some power push-ups or clapping push-ups. And if you can't do those, you can do it off your knees like so. And if they're too hard, just come down, lie on the floor, lift your hands and push as fast as you can and repeat. Then for the legs, all we're simply going to do is some jump squats. So you're going to come down into a quarter, jump as high as you can, land with soft knees, and repeat. If you want to make it a bit harder, all you have to do is just go deeper on the squat and explode. Make sure you're landing with the soft knees. Also, if you have a bit of space, you can do broad jumps or anything of the sort. Use your imagination. You can use anywhere and anything. So when you're performing power exercises, no more than 5 reps. Go about 3 minimum. You shouldn't be able to exhaust your power past 5 reps if you're doing it properly. It needs to be 100% effort, or as close to 100% as you can get it. Now let's move on to the strength work. When people talk about strength, most people think you're talking about how much weight you can move, and that is true in a sense. When it comes to body weight training, unless you're actively making yourself heavier by increasing your calories or whatever, it's more about the reps. So getting the reps in is the strength. So it's using the hardest variation and then working your way down, which in this session today you're going to see. So we're going to start off today for strength with our pull. We're just going to go for a simple pull up. So come on over and we'll show you. Okay, so as I said a wee bit back in the video, pull ups, anything to do with pulling is going to be the hardest thing when it comes to calisthenics. So for strength, it's the same thing as power. We're going to go for 3 to 5 reps. Okay, you want to be able to do a few sets of these, because you want to be able to practice said movement, and it would be the same if you're lifting weights. The whole point of strength is getting lots of practice with something heavy. So obviously if you're not very good at pull-ups, do more sets with less reps so you're not exhausting yourself, so you can perform the skill to the best of your ability on repeat, because the more practice, the better you're going to get. So either taking an over or an underhand grip. You'll have to mess about and see what works best. For today, we're just going to take an overhand grip. Grab the bar, start off. Pull as hard as you can, come down with control, and repeat. Now the thing is with pull-ups, there's lots of different ways you can do it. If you can kind of do a pull-up to a degree, focus on different heights. So can you get to a 90 degree? Can you get past the 90 degree? Can you touch your nose to the bar? Can you touch your chin to the bar? Can you get your chin over the bar? Can you get your chest to the bar? So find little areas and work to those, and over time you will get stronger. So what you're going to want to do with power, 3 to 5 sets of 3 to 5 reps, and the same with strength. So you get plenty of practice and you get very good at it. Now we're going to move on to push-ups, and we're going to go for a strength variation. So when it comes to push-ups, we'll have knee push-ups, we'll have push-ups off a box. So I'm going to show you here just 3 to 5 reps of a normal push-up, and then I'll show you some other variations that we can include. So lie down flat on the floor, put your hands in line with your chest, tuck your elbows in. You want to try and keep your body in one straight line and push. Come down with control, push, down with control, push. If that's too hard, all you have to do is put your knees on the floor, come down and push. Come down with control, push. There's loads of other different variations. I'll cover that in another video, but an example, just like I said with the pull-up, you can kind of come down halfway and push. Come down halfway and push. You can also come down with a negative and use your knees to help you get back up. The thing is, when it comes to the strength side of it, you want to use the hardest variation, so the one that's the hardest for you at the minute, but also doable, and then you can practice it. Now we're going to move on to your legs. Training your legs is probably the easiest thing, unless you can do pistol squats, etc. Before today, I'm just going to show you standard squats, and then you can use a seat or anything that you can get your hands on, okay? Or you can just use different levels. So to start off, we're just going to go for normal body weight squats. We want to try and get as big a range of motion as possible. It's only 3 to 5 reps. So squat all the way down, come back up. Make sure you keep your negative nice and slow. You can do whatever you want with your hands as well. I just like put my hands out as a counterbalance. Now, if you can't do those and that's too hard, all you have to do is find yourself a seat. You're going to sit down and stand back up. Sit down, stand back up. Now, another thing you can do as well, if you don't have a seat handy and you just want to get this done, just go down as far as mobility allows you to. Just make sure you're in control of the rep. Don't be trying to rush. Come up fast, come down slow. Boom. Boom. Simple as that. We've covered power, we've covered strength. Now we're going to go for some muscle building activities. So when it comes to building power, you need to get stronger, but you need to learn how to move fast with your strength. So that's what power is, strength times speed. When it comes to strength, you need to be able to perform a particular movement with as much efficiency as possible, or if you're lifting with weights or your own body weight, that's being able to shift more weight over time, but then that's also a skill component. So with your power and your strength, 3 to 5 sets of 3 to 5 reps. Now for hypertrophy, you can go as low as 1 set and you can go as high as you want. Volume and intensity. The harder you train when you're performing muscle building training, your aim is to just try and kick the muscles, the target muscle, until it's a limiting factor. So for example, if you're doing push-ups, you want to fail or be near failure when it's your pecs that are going. So in order for you to do that, you need to look at how close you're going to failure. The further away from failure you're training to, the more sets you can get away with. But if you're training close to failure or to failure, the less sets you need. So if you're training the absolute failure till you're absolutely done in, I would just do the 1 set. But the good thing with calisthenics, like you can do with weights, you can do drop sets. With this, we'll just go through a drop set of, well, it's a mechanical drop set. You drop down the variation. So we're going to start off here with pull-ups, okay? And then we'll move on to the push-ups and the squats. So it's muscle building time. Let's go. If you can do pull-ups, fine, that's good. All you have to do is slow it down. If not, you just want to try and get as many as you can, but I'll show you here how we can mechanically drop it. So I'm going to start off here. I'm just going to go as hard as I can until I fail with overhand grip pull-ups. So I'm going to get a good grip on the bar, and I'm just going to pull slowly as well up, okay? My aim here is to make all of my pulling musculature the limiting factor. So that's what I want to feel. So just remember, speed training is going fast as you can and as hard as you can. Strength training is getting good at the particular movement and over time adding weight to it. Training to add more muscle to your frame is just about proximity to failure and making the target muscle the limiting factor. So going very slow here is kicking me up nicely. So that's the pull-ups failed. We're going to go straight into some inverted rows now. Going straight over to this bar, just going to take an overhand grip. You can take an underhand grip, whatever suits you. We're just going to lie down, keeping our legs nice and straight, or bend them if you need for assistance. And same thing, we're just going to pull up. A row is a lot easier than a pull-up. So that's why I've taken my pull-up to failure. And then I'm going straight onto the row, just to cook my back and my biceps even more. And as you can see, I'm just taking it slow to make it even harder. But you can go as fast as you need or want. The whole point is that you just get pretty close to the muscles you're trying to work to failure. That's me cooked out, folks. Okay, now that the pull's done, we're going to move on to push. So we'll start off with some push-ups. So I'm going to do push-ups here. I'm just going to do bog standard push-ups. Then when I fail, I'm going to drop straight into knee push-ups. Now if you go on YouTube and all, you'll find millions of different variations. And I have lots of videos with different variations as well. Now you can get your first push-up, your first pull-up, your first pistol squat, and all that good stuff. But today I'm just showing you how you would structure your session. Because contrary to popular belief, when it comes to building muscle, it doesn't overly matter how much reps you do. Science shows anything between 5 and 30 reps, as long as you're in close proximity to failure. So I'm starting to die off here a wee bit. Everything's just nice and slow. I'm just trying to kick my chest as I push up. I'm thinking about bringing my biceps across my chest and keep my back nice and straight. And because my arms are in so close, my triceps are getting hammered too. Okay, now that those full push-ups are done, we're just going to go straight in here to knee push-ups, okay? So from here, exact same tempo, I'm just going to keep it nice and slow. And whenever you drop down to the easier variations, don't worry, you're not going to have to do it forever, because as you can see, the first main big set of push-ups there has cooked me. And then if you do your power and your strength beforehand, that'll tire you out a wee bit as well. That's me done. I'm just going to show you here roughly, because I'd have to squat all day, but I'm just going to show you roughly what you can do to make it harder. So all you're going to do is, if you're squatting, you're just going to come down nice and slow. Sit down, hold the stretch in the quads, back up slowly, keeping the knees soft, okay? So you're going to keep a nice wee slight bend in your knees, just to make it more painful and to make you feel faster, because we don't want to be sitting here all day. Now, when I was in my calisthenics purist phase, I actually would have had a rep counter, so, not a rep counter, what am I on about? I would have basically given each movement a target rep for the day, and then I would have broke it down into rounds. So for example, 300 squats, 200 push-ups, and 100 pull-ups. So I would have done 10 rounds with 30 squats, 20 push-ups, and 10 pull-ups. And I'd have just fucking went through all of them until it was completed, and I hit failure quite a lot in there. So that's another fun way you can do it. So let's say you're done squatting, your legs are kicked, then you can drop back to doing it seated. See, if you're doing it seated though as your next variation to make it harder, or to finish yourself off after you've done your normal squats in the muscle building portion of the session, don't fully sit down in the box. Sit down nice and slowly, like hover above it, touch your bum off gently, and back up again until your legs are absolutely kicked. Now my legs are very conditioned, but if you're a beginner and you're doing that, and you do it nice and slowly the way I showed you, you'll not last too long at all. So let's recap here. So, if you want more power, add power to the start of your session. Use a movement that allows you to pull as hard as you can, or push as hard as you can, or jump or whatever. 3 to 5 sets of 3 to 5 reps. Make sure that each rep has 100% force put through it. Then you move on to your strength work, which is more skill building for a particular harder variation or something that's heavy, if you're using weights or whatever. 3 to 5 sets of 3 to 5 reps. You shouldn't be too close to failure on power or strength, because you're trying to practice. And if you're going to failure, you're not going to get good practice in your reps, so go to shit a wee bit, unless you're pretty experienced. Then after that, you'll be your nervous system stimulated, your muscles are very warmed up, the movements that are similar to what you're doing. And then you go into your muscle building portion, which is just breaking yourself down, affecting target muscles and making them the limiting factor, getting them close to failure. With those, it can be in as many sets as you want. Just the further away you are from failure, the more sets you can get away with. But in my case, if you're going to absolute failure where the muscles can't move, and then you drop set down, easier variations, or you drop your weight or whatever, well then 1 to 2 sets is all you need. I would recommend to most people 2 sets, because sometimes you get a second wind after you've had recovery, and then you can actually come back and maybe beat your reps that you did in the first set, but it's very rare, but it can happen. So 2 sets is just to make sure. You'll add a bit of extra fatigue, and that's very good for building muscle. As for breaks in between sets, I would go 3 to 5 minutes between each set. If you don't have time, you can literally just do 1 set of absolutely everything. If you have a bit more time, I would have more sets in the strength and the power portion of the session. But bar that there, yeah. Everything, 3 to 5 sets. When it comes to the muscle building portion, if you don't want to go to failure or anything, you just want to kind of have something a bit higher reps, so maybe anything from 8 to 20 reps is fine. Just get a good pump in the muscles and all. As you get more experienced and you know where failure is, you can push to failure or whatever. 3 to 5 minutes rest in between each set, and you're good to go. And that's a full body session. I'm going to do a weighted calisthenics session next week, so I can show you a bit more about how I structure it, because that's how I train. But for today, this is just anybody can do it anywhere. You can go to a park, you can find a bench, you can use your table, do whatever, a bar. That's all you really need, and yourself, and a wee bit of space. So thanks very much for watching. If you like this video and you want more content like this, make sure to like, share, subscribe, show your friends, show your granny, show everybody, and I'm more than happy to give you more. Thank you very much. And also, DM me a little kraken emoji, a little octopus emoji. If you want me to coach you personally, you can get free 6-week trial at the Kraken Calisthenics Challenge. Yeah, that's a bit of a mouthful, but yeah. You basically get me for 6 weeks for free, and I give you a daily calisthenics session, which is roughly like what I've just shown you today. So if that's something you're interested in, you know what to do. I'll see you in the next one.